Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to check out a Star Wars game, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I'm ready for it. I got my Star Wars shirt on. Let's hop right into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's video, like I said, we are taking a look. For some reason, I couldn't speak. Taking a look at the new Lego Star Wars game, The Skywalker Saga. Now, before we get started, I do want to remind everyone to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I did play this on both the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5. And so all the footage you guys are going to see is actually just from the PlayStation 5. For some reason, Switch wouldn't let me record, which I thought was really weird because you can record pretty much anything else on the Switch. But, and I don't have an Elgato or capture card or whatever it is. I was just, doing my own video clips. But anyways, without further ado, let's just hop right into the video. The story for the Skywalker Saga is pretty simple. It just follows the 9 Star Wars movies, excluding some of the TV shows and the spin-offs, which, was kind of a bummer that they didn't include the Mandalorian or, some of those other shows or Rogue One. But at the same time, I kind of get it because this project in itself was already super huge as is. The other downside that I felt with the story was that all of the episodes, 1 through 9, all felt really summed up versions of the movies. I just felt like I sped through at least the main missions fairly quickly, and it was very, what would you call it, almost like the Spark Note versions of each episode, which was kind of a bummer. It just seemed like it went by really fast for me. It didn't really feel like you got the whole movie of each of those 9 installments, if that makes sense. And while you're in between each of these big main movies, you're in this open world area, which I thought was kind of cool. Most of the time you're just collecting studs or getting kyber bricks. Not all of the stuff you can get right away, but it is nice that it is pretty much open world. For instance, in the first prequels, you're in Coruscant, and in the main series, you're on Yavin, and there's a ton of different open world type places that you kind of explore in between these main missions. Honestly, where I think this game shines the most is the combat. The new Lego Star Wars game literally ramps up the combat that it's done with pretty much anything in any of its other Lego games that they've made before. Shooting any weapon does now a zoomed in over the shoulder type mode, much more accurate for shooting, a lot more precise, especially with these blaster type enemies characters. Lightsaber combat I feel has been improved on a ton and is a lot more fun. We'll get more into that here in just a second. Of course, the Force is very similar to the blasters. It's a lot more focused now. You can pick up specific things and throw it in specific areas, objects, other characters. And I don't quite really remember that in the other Star Wars Lego games. I thought you just kind of force stuff. In this one, you can literally force it up and put it in specific areas. It was really cool. A lot more precise, a lot more fun. Now in this one, you can now parry enemies, which is super cool. If you're fighting somebody that's got a lightsaber and you parry them, their sword or lightsaber flies back behind them, and you can get a few smacks in on them. And if you're fighting somebody that's not a lightsaber, they got a blaster they're stormtroopers or something, you smack their helmet around and basically flip them over your shoulder, stomp on them. There's a bunch of different animations, but it's all the same thing. It's basically a parry. Right as they're about to hit you, you just press X and you can parry them. It's pretty fun. It's a lot more engaging with the combat, I think, especially for a Lego game. Overall, the combat has been greatly enhanced and improved on. Easily some of my favorite parts of this whole, I don't even know if you would want to call it it's not even a remake or anything. This is them just putting all the Star Wars games that they've ever made into one big thing. And it just, the combat here is some of the best in their, at least TT Games catalog of these Lego games. The game also does have couch co-op or split screen. And that was a lot of fun. I loved playing with family. I loved playing with friends. Like I said, couch co-op, we would do free play together. A lot of fun. Kind of missed opportunity here. I mean, it's not really a negative or a positive, but it's kind of bummer that there was no online play. It would have been a lot of fun, but at the same time, I totally get it. This was already a huge game at the start, and putting this in probably would have just took them even longer to put this game out. Just like the combat, the boss battles also have enhanced a ton, with almost every boss now requiring you to jump, dodge, roll, parry, you name it, out of the way, get out of the way. Jumping out of oncoming attacks. All these attacks are heavily telegraphed with like a giant red line or red circle indicating that, hey, this enemy is about to do an unblockable attack. It's very fair, giving you plenty enough time to hop out of the way. Like anything, it's a Lego game. You know, like nothing in this game is particularly hard. It's all very telegraphed, but at the same time, it's balanced in a way that it's not like not fun, if that makes sense. Put all those things together with the dodging, the parrying, the new animations, the new combat. The boss battles were so much more fun than I remember them being in like the complete edition of like the first 6 films or those on their standalone films. Like all the boss battles here were a ton of fun. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but like there is a little bit of an open world in between the main missions. The main missions themselves are super linear. You basically start at one end. You're playing through the movie, so you kind of already know how this is going to turn out. Unless you're playing this game and you've never seen any of the movies, which would be kind of weird, I guess. Anyways, like I said, the main missions, pretty linear. That said, they do leave a lot in each area, I guess, for like the level design, if you want to call it that. They do leave a lot of stuff that is either locked or unreachable, because you have to beat the main mission and go into free play where you can get like a bounty hunter or R2-D2 or something like that where you can unlock it. Segueing right into free play, the free play is a lot of fun. There's literally like hundreds of characters. I think there's like over 300 something characters in this game, like an insane amount, with a handful of DLC characters from the TV shows and the spin-off movies. It does come included with the digital deluxe edition, which is what I purchased, and I think even the physical deluxe edition comes with all those DLC characters. For some reason, I cannot say DLC. And that was really cool. They added like the Mandalorian and Director Finnick and all these different characters from the TV shows and movies. Super cool. So I did mention this kind of at the beginning. I did play this game both on the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch. I originally bought it for the Nintendo Switch, and then when I found out for some reason my videos weren't recording, I went ahead and moved over to the PlayStation 5. But I did complete basically both games on both systems. Talking about the Switch specifically, I did run into a lot more problems with the Switch than I did with the PlayStation 5. For example, first off right away, the quality on the Switch is not very good. And I know, this is technically a Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure it's at like 720p. But even for a Nintendo Switch game, it seemed like the quality was even lower than like Metroid Dread or Pokemon Arceus. And like it just didn't seem as good, especially compared to the PlayStation 5, which I know is not quite a fair comparison. But it was almost like night and day for quality for me. Also on the Switch, I ran into a lot more bugs. For example, one, like I said, you couldn't record, which was kind of lame because I don't have a capture card. And I wish I could show you some of these glitches, but they did happen. I'm sure you guys have seen other people that have had them, especially on the Switch. But there's times where I would spawn in for a main mission where you can't do free play, can't pick whoever you want, and I literally spawned in as Jar Jar Binks on like episode 4. Like it was super weird and super random, and I was like, wait, what the heck? And so I like restarted the game and it fixed itself. So like I had random characters, you know, kind of mixed match. I had a time where my character was completely like black, almost like a silhouette, and it wasn't an upgrade, it wasn't any sort of unlockable thing, and it was just like black, like it was almost like glitchy black. It was weird. I've had like the names be mix and matched, lots and lots of pop-in, just to name a few things. But overall, my experience on the Switch wasn't bad, but I did notice there's a lot more issues compared to the PS5. As for the PlayStation 5, I had literally no issues, at least none that I can recall. The game ran perfectly, the game looked freaking good for a Lego game. Like I said, comparing it to the Switch, it was literally night and day. Like this game looked like a next gen, or not necessarily next gen, but the Switch looked like a PS3 game, no joke, on the Switch. The game overall looked way better on PS5, and I overall had a better experience just because the game looked good, no more glitches. So I would say if you were going to pick up LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga on a platform, I would probably recommend PlayStation 5. I don't know how it is on the Xbox, but I imagine it's similar to the PS5. I probably wouldn't recommend the Switch. It is kind of bad, but bearable. Overall, I was extremely impressed on how well TT Games did with their new LEGO game, this one being the LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga. It's so cool to see how far they've come and just in their own game making. I know they make a lot of these Lego games, and the combat is improved, the boss battles are more fun, just everything in general. Like, they put a lot of work into this one, and you can really tell. I love to see the progression in this. All that, and despite some of the flaws that I had on the Nintendo Switch, I still had a blast playing through the Skywalker Saga. It was so fun, like the combat over the shoulder blasting and seeing all these movies reimagined as Legos was fun, and then kind of reimagining things, like the story-wise, where they change certain things, not like canon breaking or anything like that, but just to be funny. Like, I laughed, I had a blast, game overall was fantastic. And even now, after I've rolled the credits on the main missions and done a lot of the split screen and endgame stuff, I still have a ton of collectibles to get, a ton of characters that I have yet to unlock. There's just so much to do in this game that it's going to take me a while to literally get everything that happened in this. With that said, guys, overall, I loved it. I would give LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga an 8 out of 10. It was a fantastic game. I loved every minute, had a blast. Let me know, guys, down in the comments below what you guys thought of the LEGO Star Wars game. Was it good? Did you like it? A lot of good stuff in there. And that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below, you know, what your favorite part of this LEGO game was. Let me know what you guys thought of the whole game overall. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.